Science of agriculture, the land, the seeds, and the man.
Agricultural survival.
They have represented me with the worst image, but I know without a doubt that it's because of your lack of knowledge. Foresight, they don't have to see distance. That's why they're living in ignorance.
The man.
I Chelasway, I say, any country that use.
Hi, I'm your host tonight on What Matters at the Roundtable. Stanley West McPherson. September the 3rd, 2019. We're live on Pegasus, Channel 13. Spectral TV Cable Network. We're live in the studio, 7:30. You can call in tonight. Area code 607-272-0319. You might have something to say, or you might want to get in on the discussion tonight. But if you miss tonight, we have a broadcast 6 days a week. At your convenience, we're working around your schedule. Or if you don't have cable, Pegasus has a website that you can get the show. Or we can send you a direct link to your phone or your tablet. But you can get a link and you can get the show. And we are on all social medias: Google, Facebook, Trabone, YouTube, and Twitter, and Instagram. We're on there and you can have the show. Or we can send you a direct link to your phone. And hey, you can have the previous shows from the beginning, what we have been talking about up until now. So you can have the show. We send the show to everyone, to all over. Different countries: Canada, Quebec, hey, Australia, Pimplia, Senna, Turkey, Roy, in India, then in France. Also, DJ Hannah in Portugal. But hey, you can get it in New York, wherever you're at. Tonight, I want to give a shout out to the Sophies. I have a lot of Sophies that I want to acknowledge tonight. First off, my sister, Sophie, she sent me something surprising me yesterday. It was the family tree of my grandmother and my mother, which I haven't seen them in so long. Since the passing of them, I've not seen them. So that was a surprise to me, and they were so dear to me. So my sister sent me that from my niece Tamika Johnson, where she does the family tree. She's digging up roots, and that's good, because what better person to do it than her? Because she's curious about the roots of our family. So hey, thank you, Tamika, my niece Johnson, for sending that to Sophie, and Sophie wired that to me. So hey, that's wisdom making its way into our lives. Also, another Sophie, our crew member here, Sophie May. Yes, and she came back from her trip. She's a student at Cornell University, and guess what? She's been running all around the world doing her thing with her school project, and now we have her back with us, Sophie, and she's our crew member, and she's on the credit, so you can see that we're glad to have Sophie back, number 2. And then I have another Sophie, Her name is Sophie Selfie 224, and I want to give her a shout out as well because she's a model and she's doing her thing, and believe me, she's doing her thing. So I want to give her a shout out as well. Also, our regular shout outs at Julie Cash. Do you? I see you. Got a brand new Benson, brand new Bentley. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Do you? Don't let nobody tell you how to live your life. Get yours. Get that cash. Julie Cash. Also, Andrea Rachi. I want to give her a shout out. Japanese woman, and she's doing her thing as well. And you keep on continue giving people wisdom and knowledge. Okay, so that's a good thing as well. Give people the update, give people things that they don't know, that they should know, research. Hey, you keep doing that, Andrea Rachi, because you're a smart woman in that field. Also, we want to give a shout out to Rosedal S. In New York, and Pimplia, Australia, and also my grandbabies, Sunshine and Storm, and then also Sunshine in Baltimore, Maryland. Keep up the good work. And also have a second cousin in Batavia. He's second generation, and I want to give him a shout out as well. Peter and James. He's coming right out of the Bible. Peter and James. Haven't seen him in a while, but he's doing good. That's my grandmother's my grandmother's sister's grandson. So hey, you keep it up, Peter and James. We will get in contact with you shortly. So keep up doing the good work. Also, everyone that that's had a great time yesterday, Labor Day. Hey, we know we don't forget what that's all about. That's all about helping people. That's about the living wage. We're not getting off that track, so we don't know what other people's doing, but we think and we keep that in our minds, what we are doing that for, what that's for. That's for those that need money and struggling, you know. Here with me in the studio live, co-host, Milton Webb. Milton, how you doing?
I'm doing good. What's up, Stan?
All right.
All right. I want to give a shout out to all the kids that went to school today. I hope y'all have fun. Nah, it's time to knuckle down and get it in. My granddaughter went to school today down there in Philly. My grandkids up in Nova Scotia and British Columbia, they'll be going to school soon. Hey, it's school time. Slow down in those school zones. Slow down in those bus stop areas. Remember, they're still kids. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Brandy. It was her birthday Friday. BR, you got it, girl. I'm getting old. But don't worry about it. I tell everybody that. Everybody getting old except for me and Stanley. We're going to get into this day here and get into this thing. Where we at, Stan?
Well, last week we was dealing with the bank, Wells Fargo, and we also was reminding the chief commander and chief president of the United States about honoring his own word. Now, he put some tweet out there. This tweet he put out there was in December, okay, and 2017, and he told the banks that if they ever cheat someone again, that he would cut their funds and penalize them severely, okay, and he haven't done that yet. And so I got on Twitter and I got on everything, and I made a statement to him and said, and the statement was, actually, it was a question. And it says, will the president, comma, Donald J. Trump, comma, keep his word that he tweets? And that's a question, okay? And that's on Twitter, Facebook, Google. That's everywhere. The reason why I did that, and I put that on there because I'm sending him a message. And the question is, he has to answer that. Because if he don't answer that question, then the whole world will know that we put a president in there and that he's a fraud. Because if you don't keep your own word, you're a fraud. Because you said it. If God didn't keep his own word, guess what he'll be? He'll be a fraud. Okay? That's what he'll be. He'll be a fraud. And I keep him to his own word. Yes, God, the King of Kings, the omnipotent one. Okay? The only true God, only wise God. Him. I keep him to his word. Because if he deviate, he's a fraud. He could get mad, but he got to honor his own word. And see, the only way you will know that, to do that to God, is you have to study that and get close to him to know that. But if you don't, sorry, you can't do that. So now, if I can do that with him, imagine what I can do with a commander-in-chief. See, he's got to keep his own word, okay, because he's the president of this United States, okay, and people are watching him. So he's quick to tweet. And you know what? I know he saw the show. Because you know why? Because whatever anybody says about the commander-in-chief, okay, they have to see it, okay? Because you know why? Because they have to take things seriously, whether it be derogatory, for, against. But guess what? Someone will bring it to their attention if he didn't see it, okay? Why? Because this is what they do, okay? So now I'm saying he need to answer the question, okay? Now, he haven't answered anything yet,
Yeah.
okay? But he has to. And reason why is because I'm going to stay on him about this. Because these banks are out of control. And the only one can stop it is him. Okay? Because he said something and he's the point of authority. And so we want him to step in. Okay? Why? Other people are being affected by this. But other people ain't doing what I'm doing. Okay? So I'm helping other people. So that's what it is.
Some people don't know what to do. And
That's
then,
right.
Then you got to remember, all right? I don't know who danced better, Mr. Trump or Fred Astaire, because he always dancing around the question that you ask him, and you never really get an answer. All right, if it ain't got something to do with him or whatever, or he trying to tell somebody to go back to another country, or he just dance around the question. All right, you don't really get an answer. So I'm sitting there looking at it like, okay, all right, somebody go get him some new shoes because he done danced those ones out. You know, there's a lot of things that we could do. There's a lot of things that we say. All right, but when you come right down to it, are you acting on the things that you say?
Right.
Whether it be the president, the governor, the mayor, all right, councilman, are you really acting on what you say? Or are you just saying it
Exactly.
to mess around there and please the people?
And hush them up.
We gonna do this and we gonna do that, and then we never get to it.
Right.
So when it comes right up, I mean, like, what's the deal? The problem is what? If you're gonna say something, then you do that. We said something,
That's right.
and we doing it. All right? This ain't no overnight thing. We understand that. All right? But you know what? When you're saying something and it's about an establishment,
Right.
okay, you need to carry that out, because if you don't carry that out, that makes it look like you and the establishment got in a partnership.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And when you have a partnership with something like the bank, all right, people can look at you in a different way, the way they was looking at you before. And if they was looking at you sideways before, how you think they're looking at you now? So
Right.
let's see what happens, because I'm telling you, he danced better than Fred Astaire, and that's no joke.
See.
And everybody know Fred was a bad boy.
Mm-hmm. See, we can give you just one situation where we could tell you that when the governor wanted to, he said, this is what he said, $15, living wage, $15. That's what he said, $15 an hour, okay? Then he wanted us to get on his bandwagon and hush up, okay? Listen, if we had did that right now,
Right.
we would be a fraud, because he gave those people $12.50, not $15, $12.50. Now, whoever went with him is a fraud. You know why? Because he said $15. And so now a lot of people is mad, retracting, because they went behind his bandwagon and he made them a fraud. That's why we tell you, when you lie and say something, you say, I'm going to do something, and then you don't do it, you're a fraud. I don't care who you is, the government, I don't care who you is. I done took it all the way up to the heavens, okay? I took it all the way to E. Jesus. Yes, Latin, Greek, and Hebrew. Yahshua. I took it up to him. If he said anything in that La Biblia and don't do it that he said, then he a fraud. So anybody on the earth, flesh and blood, made from dust, dust we came from, dust we're going to go back to, say anything and don't do it, they're a fraud. They weren't about telling you if you do something and you get this and that, you do this, that's a fraud, but they words that they said is a fraud, okay? Themselves, because they lie to you and I. And it's got a whole bunch of people doing that. You got news, you got politicians, you got the government. They're a whole bunch. They lying, they're a fraud, okay? Because they saying things they ain't doing. They reneging, all of that. They are fraud. That's where fraud comes from.
You know, and a lot of times when, you know, you sit there and you look at it like why do they do this? They do this. Do they have the best intentions to get it done? Well, if that's the case, then do it.
Right.
All right? Don't sit there and wait for, you know, Bobby May over there and you know, Joe Bob over there to mess around and bring you some paper and pencil so you can start writing this stuff down. You know, you got to get over there and you got to get it. And if you don't get it, you don't do your research, you don't follow up on everything, your leads, you're just out there. What you're saying to the people ain't nothing except for what you want them to hear. And that's it. And anybody can do that. So when it comes right down to it, let's get it right. If you say you're going to do it, do it.
That's right.
All right, we told y'all. We're going to show you something, and we're going to do something that ain't never been done before. And trust us, it's coming.
That's right.
We keep telling you it's coming. But things that we're doing, it don't work overnight, and it don't take a week, and it takes longer than a day. So therefore, you know, we're going to let you know as soon as this happens.
And it's in the process. That's the whole thing.
That's right.
You know, it's like the Bible said, process of time. You know,
Yes.
everything is process of time. So that's what this is. This is the process, you know, of time. So, hey, we are doing everything and steps towards that. That's called action. Okay, so we doing action. I already told you. Enough talk. You know, it's been too much talk. People been talking too much. You know, that's all they've been doing is talking. When I was born, 56 years ago, they was talking. Guess what? 56 years later, they still talking. They saying the same thing over and over again. Me, ain't no more talking. Talking is enough. It's enough talk. Action.
That's right.
And that's where we at. That's what we do. We do action. So we're not trying to hear what they're saying because they just talking. And they're fraud because they're saying the same thing over and over again. Ain't nothing happening. Status quo. Nothing is happening. Nothing. You know, playing games. Republicans, Democrats, they saying the same thing. Everybody trying to get a piece of the pie, cutting each other's throat. Get in. They do this, they do that. It's crazy. No one is getting nothing. Same old thing. So that's what we're telling you. Nah, no more talk. We just doing what we need to do. We action. So you'll see it because we'll let you know, like I told you, we know the tools. We have the tools. And we can teach them to you. And that's what we're going to do, you know, because we're going to get you out of poverty, period. We're going to get ourselves out. We're going to get you out. They don't want that, but that's on them. Because I already told God, I had to tongue lash him and said, listen, you might have came in this world and you might want to do it the poverty way and all that, but I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that way because I didn't come in that way. I was born in poverty. I'm not coming like that. I'm not doing that. I've been in that long enough, you know, and that's of destruction. I'm not doing that, you know. No, it's enough money in this world for everybody. I'm not doing that. So, hey, you can see that we're not taking that. We're not taking that route. And people use that Christian stuff. I'm not no Christian. I'm not doing that. I'm a disciple of Christ, of Jesus, and when those men was next to him, they wasn't good men. They were men that they did
bad things.
They did what they had to do to survive, period. That was it. So it was disciples next to this man. It wasn't no Christian living somebody else's life. You're going to tell me how to live. I don't want to know how the Christian live. I don't want to live that life. I want to live the life that he gave me. He said, okay, good. I was a disciple. That's it. And the disciple is what he called his men in the Bible. He didn't call them Christian. You know where that word came from, Christian? Mm-hmm. At Antioch, it says the people called the apostles and disciples Christian. They did that. God ain't call them that. The people did it. So who's calling people Christian now? People is calling people Christian. It ain't God. So I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that. I want to be what he said. He said a disciple. That's it. That's in the word. So I don't want to hear that. A lot of things people using as a crutch, okay, to use to get over on other people. And that's what they're doing. Christian this, Christian that, Christian this. I bet you a little child is saying, oh, look what that Christian did to me. See what I'm saying? That's what a child is saying, okay? And it's a whole bunch of them saying that. So I don't want to be that, okay? So it's a disciple. That's it. Shut that down, and that's it. Because people are using a whole bunch of things to use to their advantage. And I don't care what it is. They use the Bible. They use whatever it is for their advantage. They get rich off the Bible. Why don't they get rich off their own plan? Come up with a plan. Think of us. Don't use the Bible to get rich. Oh, tie here, tie that. And take two people money and do what they want to do with it, and people ain't got nothing no more. So enough with that.
You know, when it comes right down to it, the problem is a lot of people, they're not looking at what to do. They're listening to other people. Don't listen to them. Do your thing. Get out there and learn it for yourself. Because if somebody tell you about it, it's not worth knowing unless you do it yourself. Do it yourself. If you can't do it, then it wasn't meant for you to do.
Exactly.
Hey, so
when you wind up behind the 8 ball, then you're going to blame somebody else anyway. So don't let nobody think for you. You know,
think for yourself.
A lot of people got other people thinking for them. Oh, the university saying this, they saying that. Oh, the scholars saying that. Everybody think for yourself, man. Don't let nobody think for you, because that's why people getting in trouble, because they got other people thinking for them. Oh, this on, put that on. Oh, watch this, that. Everybody think. No. Think for yourself and do your own research. Okay? Ask questions. That's what I told my grandkids. Ask questions. Okay? You know, ask questions. Find out what's up. You know, don't just take yes or no for an answer. You know, hey, that's our time. So we'll pick this back up next week, but we're going to stay on these guys, okay? It's Wells Fargo Bank. We'll make sure they get that money up, okay? See you next week. Good night.
Put on the gun and make we farm up the ground. Gonna see from what year, too much blood I run. Put on the gun and make we farm up the ground. Them say, global recession so food, Africa in a ground. Put on the gun and make we farm up the ground. Me have to return to St. Anne's and left Kingston. When you plant a new crop, the world start clap. All human beings start embrace that. There is no solution in this pollution. Them only mission is to create era done. Then after election, them cut them one. Get a youths, take this message from this Rasta man. I put on the gun and make we farm up the ground. Gonna see from what year, too much blood I run. Put on the gun and make we farm up the ground. Them say, global recession so food, Africa in a ground. Put on the gun and make we farm up the ground. Me have to return to St. Anne's and left Kingston. When you plant a new crop, the world start clap. All human beings start embrace that. There is no solution in this pollution. Them only mission is to create era done. Then after election, them cut them one. Get a youths, take this message from this Rasta man. I put on the gun and make we farm up the ground. Gonna see from what year, too much blood I run. Put on the gun and make we farm up the ground. Them say, global recession so food, Africa in a ground. Put on the gun and make we farm up the ground. Me have to return to St. Anne's and left Kingston. When you plant a new crop, the world start clap. All human beings start embrace that.